His house is located at the end of the village. It is nestled close to the edge of the rock like a serpent god, in the middle of a plentiful bamboo. It was as if he wanted to embrace the old house, the 3 houses where Theme lived, which is a relic left over from the ancestral life, hundreds of years ago. His grandfather used to work as a district attorney in the sugar government. My grandfather's father didn't give me a lecture to the village living like a nail, but the house was built when the old man was still standing, of a family that had a great time. The house has an ancient appearance, as a silent testimony of time. The entire frame of the house is made of glossy black wood. How many seasons of sunshine and rain. The house is still standing even though it has cracked, each one gnawing at each amputee. In the middle of the house is an ancestral altar, smoke all year round, gold milled diaphragm 5 paint. The small letters are open as if hidden in the dust of time. The sea is a resting place, a thin wooden partition with a gap, wind blowing. It's like a cry from the past. Yin-yong roof tile with long stone. There is a magic stone. Every time it rains, water leaks into the house. The dirt yard in front of the house is easy to cover up from the back. Brick with 3 levels of broken pieces, though old and shabby, but the house is still where he added roots, to preserve the ancestral silhouette, and the stories have sunk deep in the dust of time. He added this year in addition to 5 weeks of self-walks. His wife died 35 years ago. You're not going to go any further. That spacious house now has only 1 dead body. In the village I also know his house Theme poor dead body. All year round, he sells his face for the land, and his back for the sky. There is not enough food to wear. The poor life drags on every day, silently like a garden stove smoke around a lonely life. I haven't been happy these days. He was always upset in his heart about. The rats have been so destructive lately. I don't know where the rats came from, but you're seeing more and more of them, from the dark recesses hidden under the ground. Every night, the rats creep out. They're quiet as shadows. They're tailing each other through the floor. You're small, but as fast as a squirrel. The corn seed-sized flaming eyes glowed a wet light. Not the look that ran away when I saw you. It's a stalking stare. The rats have dirty grey hair, and they've become a mess. It's got a dead tail. It's as if you've been through a battle. In the dark, these little noses are constantly fluttering all over the place, rolled according to the smell of cold rice. Or maybe it's just a little bit of fat left on the lip. Many nights he seemed miserable because of the rat raging. Some kids jumped on bamboo drums, snuggling and biting the cords. That makes the gold on. Fell to the brick like little streams. There's a claw at the foot of the pole. A squeaking sound like breathing. The haste of those who have been hungry for a long time. Pull follow the nail track 5 PCs, leaving a knife-like tear on the wood floor. And some of the others tore up the rotten cloth that was used to shade the cone. We're all messed up on the dark side. It's like she's about to give birth. In the twinkling light from the oil lamp, the shadows glide like the devil's flickering. He never gets a good night's sleep. For many nights Mr. Theme has been prowling. It was horrifying. There's a mouse as big as a cat with grey fur, and a little dust, suddenly burglarizing from the dark recesses below the floor. There's another mouse with branched black fur. It's under the old kitchen. I looked at the forgotten cassava potatoes from last week, using sharp teeth that will be in pieces. The hard shell leaves the marks on the teeth, deep rolling all over the old surface. It doesn't stop there. Rats don't just tear down food, but also scratching the chains of clothes hanging out in the yard. A few pieces of fabric crumbling, flying the cloth down to the wet ground, especially the copper wires hanging the door frame. It's not safe either. When their sharp teeth bite in, make a creaking sound like the wind's howl. In the late night, the cat didn't pounce as usual, but immediately raise your ears to eyes flashing a blue light in the dark. His throat suddenly cracked with a small growl. He stepped back, his eyes showing a chilling warning. Dan Cow watched the cat and muttered softly. It's like trying to explain something unusual in front of you. My dog tonight. The eggs are so delicious. It's as stupid as a dog. He grinned and hurriedly took the bone thrown at him. Before the monster, fat eat away. The cat didn't respond at all. Its tail is truncated between its legs. His eyes had a cold look, sharp and full of myth. Suddenly, a squeaking sound came from his throat. It's not like a normal bark. It's not the Long Joe sound. This is a choking howl. It sounds like that's AI choking her. Every night, he would crawl in the dark. The sound of killing sutras echoed slowly and intermittently, and then it shrinks its head and rushed into the kitchen. What disappears in the dark? All four of them saw that and continued the night drinking. After eating, all four of them breathed for a while. The owner of the house rushed back and forth the remaining mouse bones, collect it in a tray and pour it out into the front yard. He stood up and said nothing. He just came over to greet B.A. and staggers holding the stick. His hand is holding a dirty straw broom. Mr. K reached his shoulders down to his mouth. It's late. I'm going to dig a ditch tomorrow. That's a really good meat to eat. Mr. Dan carried tattered basket sandals, burying dust on his pants. Go back to work. Without understanding why his stomach was scratching, the more he ate, the more he felt empty. But he still licked his lips. The eyes are still clear of regret. Each one a shadow quietly hidden in the small alley. To scour every corner of the house to get rid of the rats. The moon is still hanging high, but the moon is fading now. Fall to the dew on the ground, and the mouse's head is still there. And that night was the night of terror. He added that he was the first to experience. When he got home, he lay down tired. The shroud goes for a while. You have no love. When I hear the laughter of my ears. He took out the trash and looked around his dark space. His face is chiseled, his hands trembling. Space as if it were in a coffin. Tight. Suddenly, the moon's glow came through the sky. The mouse came out of the hole in the corner. The mouse didn't run, but crawled closer. Big body with caps. Grey hair ash wet. All eyes are red. It's followed by the second and third and a whole flock. A flock of mice step by step. Every time you blow a broom, you're out of breath. Step by step like a grave-covered army. More business. The arch screamed loudly, but his mouth was stiff. The jaws are locked like iron nails. Hands and feet don't move. It's like being nailed to the floor with an invisible nail. Only eyes open to see the rats slowly left behind. They climb up on their feet, drop down along their bodies, huddle in their armpits. Put your neck in your hand. The mice's claws began to scratch the skin piece by piece, and the rats don't seem to be afraid. The rats' breath was on their faces. Stink to collect along. A mouse climbs up on his chest to his face. He looks straight at you and opens his mouth. The 7-year-old saw its deep throat. It's like going straight down a bottomless hole. At that moment his jaw opened. It's not you trying. It's like an invisible bulletin bouncing around. The mouse immediately flowed straight into his mouth. The more we chase them, the more they come. It's wet, and it's like greasing. His feet scratched his tongue and slid down his throat. His breath choked with glaring eyes. His throat is 7, but the mouse is always deeper. It's like getting into your neck, to get into the belly. Each sperm up the nose and up the brain. And then there was a voice. The sound is in your head. Beautiful down the oil lamp. Only Leo broke a piece of the floor. Is my meat good? Is my meat good? He howled and woke up. He lay breathing heavily. It's like coming out of the water after drowning. His mouth widened and drool flowed out of his cold throat. Grandparents teach to vomit, but in nausea, there's nothing but white fluid and a little thin blood. The smell is still in my mouth. Crawl up into the bed and lie on your feet. It's still rat meat, but now mixed with what tastes iron. The taste of wet hair, the taste of something not of the living. Down on your knees, hands on the shaking floor. Outside the yard, the night wind suddenly exploded. Killed through the roof. The voices of the A are yearning forwards in the ground. In the sad corner, the mouse winced at the tail. I was standing on my back to feet the day before. I stared at him and disappeared. Maybe he was falling asleep and startled. Over there he was dreaming of sitting in the middle of the yard. But not a yard full of flowers and vegetables. As usual, it's raining like a bone. The land is cold and rocky, and it's not silvery white hanging on your head. It's as black as an empty eye. To shallow legs tied to a large stone pole with cloud ropes, used to clench the flesh and blood. In front of him was an old plate full of meat. Because of the cold tickling sensation at the fingertips, that's the mouse plate. But now the meat is smoking black, boiling fat, sick belly like belly rumbling. Every little piece of fresh blood on the ground. The color of blood was as thick, it had just been cut from the body. The smell at first is gone. Instead, it's the smell of the throne. From the dark corners each mouse appears. They're not running, they're walking slowly. Their faces are red, where the mouse's teeth bit at each nail. Wet grey hairs, feet on the ground, no sound. You're as big as a cat. 3 long tails wrapped around their necks, like 3 little snakes. They didn't come right away, they just surrounded his legs. I look at you as if waiting. Then one comes forward. He licked his tongue slightly on his ankle. His tongue was as cold as ice. I love you for a bite. A small bite, but enough to bleed, and bruised with cold and old age. Now the 3rd and 4th one starts to gnaw. Chewing the fence echoed in the dead of night. Chow steeps his meat like a dead steamer, membrane by membrane, flaking out of the calf, to reveal the bright red muscle. Then came the white bone. He writhed, but the rope tightened. He humbled and screamed, but the screams don't go up in the air. A black mouse jumped on his shoulder. Over the course of a month, he became thinner due to lack of sleep. It's not heavy, but the breath that flowed into his ears made him shiver. He hated your killer and whispered, "If you eat meat, you pay meat. 1 piece per piece." Very much his word. The mouth is small but shows white teeth. On his knees, he said it felt like a hammer to the bone. It's pierced to the core. Every day, take the bamboo stick. Copper Eyes hesitated. His mouth was open, but he couldn't make a sound. He woke up from a nightmare of dry throat. Boobs pounding. The oil lamp in the room is still burning, but the light still makes you feel uneasy. He looked down at his feet. The left leg was slowly tearing apart. See if there's a small tear in the ankle, but long and bloody raw drop by drop. There's pounding all over the house. He was cold on his back. The words in his head are still stuck. 1 piece at a time. 1 piece at a time. Over there in the dingy house, Mr. C.A. is falling asleep, in the strange yeast and taste of rat meat. At first he vaguely found himself standing in the yard. The sky is full of dew, with the wind blowing through each of the rustling dry cow canopy. At his feet was the sound. The old water well has been used by his family for several generations, but tonight the well doesn't twinkle the moon, like a desperate rhythm. It doesn't reflect anything. Out of a thick black like blood, he bent down to wash his face. Hands the bottle, gradually tossed the bucket to draw water. But I just hit the water. He felt the ice cold pouring down, from the wrist bone to the heart. When you bend down the iron to look, he immediately stopped. In the thick black water in front of him. I want to get rid of the evil creatures. It's a giant mouse. Red eyes, white teeth, hair covered in dry blood. The nose twitches as you see it. The breath of fear is coming from you. He backed away instinctively, but the feet are stuck to the ground. My eyes have not left the bucket. Then out of the bucket came a pair of rat legs. It's not 1, it's 2, 3, 4, countless. They crawl out of the bucket, but at the same time it's always red, as from the gates of hell opened in the midst of the world. The sound of the claw and the wood listening to the trumpet, and then all the mice, big and small, jumped up at the same time, rushed towards you. Their nails are as sharp as a knife, and they're scratching your face. His skin is quite tattered, streaks of hot blood gushing out with the cold cutting the skin, creating a sensation that's both creeping and numb. Ka shouted, but did not speak, in front of the cool air, dry lips mumbling curses. No one, because the monstrous sound came from nowhere. It sounds like a child laughing at the sound. It's like the sound of a strange woman in a dream. That copper swirled into his brain. Then, under the chaos, another voice spoke. Take off, now I take off again. Listen after that. Mr. K. It feels like my whole face is being ripped apart. He raised his hand to try to shake his face. Not in the hands of anyone, but my hands are wet. My feet jumped like they were flapping water. He was tossing Laos upside down behind. His head crashed against the cold ground, and he woke up. Can still forearm. It's just the oil lamplio tied the ball to the wall. He breathed heavily on his chest like a rock. The sweat is drenched, but there's something sticky and fishy in it. He got up and ran out to the light. But the standard is still like the soul untiring. Under his hand is open a long shaving streak, from the ear down to the corners of the mouth. The mouse huddled outside for a moment, and then died down. The night wind blows through the door with a fishy smell. Your dream is the worst, compared to the nightmare of all freakier. It's not just creepy, it's carnage. Find myself lying on a creaking covered bed, but the sad watch is strangely silent. The herd pulls out destruction day and night. No crickets, no lizards clicking their tongues. It's just a dark night and a secret box. The oil lamp is on, and the yellow light on the roof is off, but the shadow on the wall is distorted. His head is unusually large, belly swelled up like a pot cracked open. He looked down at his stomach. Its eggs as big as a woman's stomach. Overcome, skin belly stretch ball. Raw drum can tear up rice sacks, 6 barrels of rice 0 to 1, where you can see the blood vessels twisting dimly. And most obviously, there's something corny in there, moving back and forth like fish in a flock. The hand on the stomach is soft, a cold feeling as shy as, punctured by the sound of a rustling. Right then his belly podium raw. It's a big glove incision, tearing off from the navel to the side, from inside that a mouse dared to let out. Cool red eyes, hidden white teeth. At night, the house is trapped by an invisible force. I look at myself wet with a strip of red intestines wrapped around me. He called out for an hour, and then he turns his head and slips into his stomach, and then the second, third. The rats followed each other up and down. It's like digging a nest in a dead body that can't get cold. Each time one protrudes a longer segment of the intestine, part of the liver, a small piece. You are still awake and alive. I can still feel every piece of meat. The locusts howl out from the wall. Each segment of the intestine is removed from the body. Dan was in pain, screaming and writhing. His ass is ripped. Black blood flows out like porridge. His hands tried to trick the rats. They don't seem to see you, just calmly nest in the flesh, while dying. Raised the sound of thick extraction to the stupor. He could not hear the sound of a rustling. From under the floor, from the tattered abdominal wall, you eat me. Now I eat meat for meat. The voice is as rhythmic as a chant, over and over again mixed with the rodent sounds. He wrestled with a choking noise in his throat. The German's breath is full. Your stomach is still intact, but in my chest, it's like it's been gouged out by that AI. He was horrified, bending down, shivering to touch his stomach. It turned out to be a dream, like the sound of a claw against the soul of the living. But he immediately stopped, right by the edge of the bed. In the middle of the ground, open grey dust, mouse footprints, by the wind's small feet in every nail, even though it is skillful dust cover, and lie straight on his stomach. Out there the night wind blows through. A long squeak echoed in the yard, and was silent. The sun has not yet risen from the village bamboo. Early morning dew on the mound. The sound of rice falling on the ground. He injected his tattered jacket. Limping footsteps out of the gate. It didn't rain overnight, but it was cold inside. The morning wind blew softly, but he kept feeling cold on his back. His hands were still trembling after the nightmare. The fishy smell of mouse hair, the feeling of the throat being violated. Blood-scraping marks on the neck. The nearest house has just arrived, and the door has been opened. He then called softly, "Uncle, are you home?" He himself sometimes hears the words. If you want to call more, the glass door is opened. He shows his head. His face is strewn with hair. His ears are tangled like a broom. His eyes were as red as a man who stayed awake all night. He was wearing a crooked brown shirt. You look no different than a coward, without a soul. That's right. I am also looking for you. The ant walked into the house. The smell of mold is like the smell of a rat's pee on the floor. Long day. Until that night it was a dark night. The mat under the house was piled up. The blanket swayed like someone struggling. He then pointed his hand in and asked what was wrong. Last night I dreamt of a rat gnawing my leg. It's like it's real. Every time it bites my leg, it stings to my brain. I woke up and saw my calves bleeding, where the projections are sputtering like there's AI scraping. Its nails are long. They both looked at each other and said nothing more. The sky was as black as a curtain, only the early morning wind whistling through the old roof. To men used to suffer in the field, but now silent in the face of insecurity. Go a little further. Both men followed the convex path to Mr. Kaw's house. The village road is empty in the morning. Only the sound of chickens crowing in the distance and dew, blind through the banana dust behind the garden. Kaw's house is hidden behind a few rows of tea. Old black roof soaking wet with dew. In the old room B.A. The gate is unlocked, but the door is closed. To people called several times, but no one answered. Must come the sixth time. The sound of my feet in the new house. The door opened, and Kong was addicted to roar in his naughty form. Talented hair up against the eyes, dark circles, bored sweat close, and you're rubbing your face like someone who's had a nightmare. I woke up last night dreaming of something screaming on my face, he said. Put your hands on your cheeks. Both he and Theme held their breath. Mr. Theme lay crouched on a patchy book projector. On Mr. Kaw's cheeks were red parallel scratches. Around the bruised wound, there was some dry blood. Mr. Kaw swallowed trembling saliva. I thought I was dreaming. I woke up and saw that it was burning like a fire. My wife asked me to, and I didn't dare tell her. She looked at the rice and told me to dream. Hand banged against the bed. The aunt hissed a breath of her teeth. Smell of slightly moist bone-blended pants. His grandfather was sweating. His back was soaking wet, blowing into the cold. He said softly, his eyes no longer left the path open to the bone. It's not a dream. It's Theo himself. No one objected. Because AI also understands that what they're going through, it's too much to call a nightmare. Finally, they all came to his house. Don's house is located furthest from the edge of the village, near the edge of the wild field. The super crooked roof. The fence has broken a few pieces. It looks like there's been no AI to fix it for a long time. It's like being in the rain and being cold inside. The gate is still closed as if no one is awake. He then called, "Open the door." There is a rush. Every now and then I hear the whisper. Then the door opened. Mr. Dan deeply covered some tattered tea sheets, just peeking out every pale face. His lips were white and his eyes were as deep as those of the hive for many days. The lady was even crimson. His hands and feet trembled. The cold is on my back. You see it too. Oh, Dan trembled. Stand back, 3 friends, and point to your stomach. I dreamed of being disemboweled. Get every cow out of me. I can hear the howl in my gut. The thick hands of wet clothes hurt, and people are also mutilating the liver and tearing the intestines. He gulped and bent down and pointed at the mat. I taught you more rat tracks this morning. It's as if there's something invisible, quietly wet. It's not a normal mouse. It's as big as a 5-fingered child's hand. 3 people then became silent. They looked at each other, and no one dared to say anything. The wind from the bare moor blows through the dry leaves outside the alley. It sounds like something screeching from a distance. On everyone's face is a different shade. I'm afraid of hiding, but what we have in common is an unspeakable terror. And even though no one said roar, we all understood. The garden next door. Last night was not just a dream, and what they eat is not mice. It's a mouse again. That afternoon, when the sun didn't set, the shadow of the sun also dyed the village road red to dust. My husband and I stopped each other at home. A view. All 4 of them. Not quiet all day. Everyone is holding a chill. Suddenly he was startled. Through the back without breaking. They dare not eat or sleep. To the mouse running on the floor. It also makes their hearts tighten. The meal that day. The strange thing that Kia left behind. It's written like a salty prayer in my veins. No one said roar, but they all felt it. There's something clinging to the rodent with every breath. Glue into every blood vessel. A strange feeling like 100 pricks together under the skin. 3 people think of a tank to find the master's house in the border village. But as soon as we got to the door, then a harsh scene stopped them. The gate is now open. Everyone in the neighborhood was being ridiculous. The murmuring voices echoed across the yard. The children were dragged away by the adults. The women gathered at the white-faced well. His hands closed his mouth, as if about to vomit. He added, "Gao, you stepped to the heart of 7 again, by a violent premonition." The feeling rose from his feet, and made him howl softly. but as he approached, he closed in on the floating gate. By the side of the buffalo cage, he was cowering, like a boiled shrimp. The body, that was so big, now fluttered with fake earth. The poor head must have been twisted on one side. Two his hands were straight. My fingers are twitching as if trying to grab something invisible. His face is deformed, forehead full of sadness, eyes glistening. His mouth as the white flower swayed into a duck. Two hands groping in the dark, that tin pounding around the mouth. But the worst is when your mouth is open. It was as if he was going to make a cry for help, but choked in the middle. Every man in the neighborhood withstood his nausea. Look down and stutter and go again. There's black hair in my throat. The women nearby couldn't bear to howl anymore. Oh my God, there's rat hair in your mouth. Drunk, broke his neck and died. And then that itchy feeling became more and more obvious. I saw him drinking last night. Your mouth must be drinking poison. Rumor after rumor makes the whole village gossip. But while the crowd is still doubtful, then you're dead and you deserve to be dead. By the side of the garden, I can't utter a word of dry throat, sweating right next to the ocean. It was cool that afternoon. Wind blowing in waves quong thick fence. His temple to the ankle. His eyes shot as though they were being sucked into the body. He looked down his throat now. There's a grey hair in that stupid mouth. There's fresh blood between the teeth. It's not dog hair. It's not hair. It's mouse hair that's as dark as a needle bullet. The smell of the night before was like a reflux in my throat. It made him grind his teeth and swallow a dry con. All three knew then. This is no longer superstition. He quickly reached down and saw clearly. It's no longer about getting drunk and sleeping. Every dream, every wound, every panic in the heart, now in the flesh. The death of Nu. No one dared to tell the villagers about that night's drinking. If they know what they're going to do. The newspaper invited me or kicked her out of the village. The crowd is fading out. Some people go to the doctor. Others talk about ghosts. Something small. There were only 3 people standing like a stone pillar in the middle of the field. The wind swept through the bamboo. The leaves rustled like a huddle. Mr. Dan trembled violently. Mouth uttered a whisper like someone with malaria. It's really coming back. Lost in a hurry. 'Cause face was as dirty as the one who was withdrawn. When he came home, he didn't say that he was just sitting on the porch. Deep sunken eyes. And the feathers are clinging to his feet. The space around his house was filled with a fishy smell. Bring him was very happy smoked. From there he added to the search. It's not dark yet, but Mr. Con's house is closed. The all light didn't get through the door. How many times no one answered. Call out loud and just hear the noise as if it's choking. An unwholesome feeling arises. Once more, he comes closer to the wall and stops. There's a scratching sound inside. Sharp teeth plugged into the flesh, like sharp nails on the ground against a wooden wall. Panic overturned the plate on the shallow side. Close your eyes and die. The chicken is sitting in the middle of the ground, and the man has a tendon. His hands on his face became so strong that blood everywhere. His face was smooth, the deep red incisions get out like a knife. His mouth is quite gnashing his teeth. Teeth howl together for fear. Mother and father, these cruel rats. His mouth stuttered as if mesmerized. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Panicked anti-pounding in trying to hold your hand back, but Mr. K jerked up as if haunted. It's like a crazy animal. A sharp blow caused the ancestral altar to collapse. The incense stick is still burning red on the walls of the house, from the brush to the door, but now clear 10 screws claw claw. Mr. Thien gritted his teeth and screeched softly. How long is the hand? It makes the back cold. It's all scratching from inside raw. It's like there's something in the house looking for a way out. He was more panicked and rushed out screaming to beat. The villagers fled. Then suddenly a fire broke out from the small room. The breath after the fire devoured the old roof. It's like a demon smelter. The villagers come to collect water for peace. The flow of anger and pain. But the fire was very intense. When the fire goes down, people rushed in. He said it was just a black body. Lie down under the ashes. They keep the villagers in pieces forever. It's the smell so that Cho doesn't burn like firewood. It's got a stinky fishy smell. like dead animals downstairs in the pond. The villagers carrying the bodies are quite outside, but the AI is also vomiting, but wrinkled like a needle in the flesh. He immediately injected Len through a small dirt road, lead out of the village. It's like a burning fire. Every foot on the ground is an addictive thought. You have to invite a doctor. You have to stop the devil who's asking for your life. After witnessing Mystica's tragic death, you should hurry home and close the door. But just for the ancestors, they squeezed the stomach and then contracted. Bok woke up. I know the killer has come. I was terrified to leave the village, but just out the door, an invisible force tugging at the mallet in the house. You deserve to be possessed by the devil. His eyes suddenly twitched. Mr. Long's eyes crashed into his mouth with a distorted smile, while the belly skin starts to tear. And then, in a moment, my guts are filled with socks, divided in a very painful tragedy. His trembling hand touched the oil lamp on the wall. When he arrived, he saw that he had not returned. He immediately went back to find him. To see my friend die with a smile still visible, he turned his head and ran away. But a mouse that lets go. I just got home and I don't know how to deal with it. It is your turn to be admitted. The page just came out of the bamboo. The plastic blue light shone down on his squishy body, till he finished holding a chicken to his mouth. Then it's so bright, biting endlessly. She hated her neighbor, who was the first to notice. She screamed hysterically and fell into the yard. The villagers heard that. They ran to the AI all 7 times. In the middle of the farm, humbly listening to the chicken and laughing. Some people cry, "Oh my God, you were truly possessed by the devil." He swallowed the chicken's fur and raised his head. The red eyes are no longer white. There's only spitting blood like spider webs. The lights are flashing out. Both sides of his gums cracked. Then black as the mouse's teeth, as sharp as a needle pierced through the lips. His nose was bleeding every drop of blood. No one dared to come close. They stand outside the circle on the gagged. People are shivering. All of a sudden, he swooped in and smashed the breathing room door, kicked the table, climbing up on the altar nest. A faint ring of light enough to illuminate a level of illumination from where the old man kept the smoke. He scraped the tablet and tore the whole wall, scraping up every sound like a mouse. Then he picked up the incense and put it in his mouth properly. Who twitches? While the villagers spoke out of fear. The cow with 4 limbs. He moved through the door, hunched back, hands on the ground. Walk on your knees. By walking and leaving deep scratches on the brick floor. A little grey-haired mouse, that's. The village panicked and rushed away. He added cows for a long time. From the courtyard across the village gate. Turn off the graveyard trail at the end of the neighborhood. The moon was hidden by dark clouds. The sky was dark. There was only a rustling cry. The groaning from the throat of what's being held captive. The villagers finished a 7-moment bending and chasing each other. Now to the place where the grave of the Father of Heaven was dug up. The grave's lid cracked like it was hammered. Cut off the skin on his ankle. Brick and rag, and roll up your clothes and cover up your shit. In the midst of danger, the old man came. When he heard from the terrified villagers, he hurried around the village, stepped slowly, but beat every beat. The east side closed slightly, lips muttered, hand to the grain. Very dynamic pastime, makes the shirt fluttered. Every wild incense, according to the sweep of Mr. Len, through every row of cow and yoalis, until you walk through the garden. Here's a mouse bone after a drinking match, that it glowed with a cold red glow. Uncle stopped. I saw a mouse skull with teeth like human teeth. The teacher whispered, her spirit has come to the land where the mouse has formed. From the village, everyone shuddered. The face has no blood. Uncle, sitting on the floor, grabbed the mouse bone and plugged it in. He drew a goose's blood on the palm of his hand and slammed it hard on the ground. Caught Mr. Theme's eye. Suddenly hung compression off horizontal. If you see this, use me and tell me. These big dudes got the wrong rat. That be-8-tailed rat is not normal. It survived the 5 dragon plague, when hundreds of people in the area die of crop failure, buried not in time. A curse on thousands of corpses, sucking the tears of the dead, to accumulate resentment and become evil mascots. The time monster immediately turned its head. The teacher stopped for a beat. Look around at the people holding their breath. It's not a threat for anyone to chase or beat it. Only those who eat it. Take it to the new belly to help the soul-shifting curse. The whole village is quiet as if someone is shaking. The master said every word as if joking and flashing. When 4 people eat pure blood, 3 souls are swallowed. That mouse didn't kill Theme. It needs a living person to carry the body, receding into the darkness as the light came, to walk between people and solve the whole village. He could raise his eyes, as if through a rotten roof. I want to solve the curse of being blind. Let's get what's called a grudge. Kill with the flesh of a man, professing to be a rat in anger, then buried under the wild mound, where there is no shadow. If we don't do it in time, the whole village will bleed. A trembling man asked me where he was looking. Then he confirmed. He looked down at his leg, where it bit the red swelling. This mouse has just entered the body. Stay in the cemetery for a while. Hurry up and immediately gather the people who caught him. It will be a full moon in 2 days, when heaven will save us. A group of white boys in the village were chosen raw. The one who carries the cane covers, the one who holds the basket net. Come with me to the cemetery. Okay. At that time, there were ducks running to the sacred newspaper theme. Eating a piece of a coffin is like eating sugarcane. Blood leaking a small line, a longer burning sensation. The moon cast a silver-grey light on the dew-soaked grass. The night wind kills every time. Even the incense smoke has not died yet. When you get close to the horde, when you see a hunchback digging under his face, the grave was buried for 10 days. They didn't dare come near, just looked at him, and they hurt their backs. When you see the poor family, the whole crowd stretches the net. Although struggling, Mr. Theme was tied up with strawberry rope. Name pickled water. It's like being touched by a tunnel. The smell of fishy from his body rose sharply. That night in the middle of a lonely mound, he built the 8 fresh bamboo poles plugged into a circle. Tie only 5 colors on hanging black cat fur into the enchantment paper package. He was stunned on his covered wooden table. The copper face closed slightly, the skin darkened as if smoke. The master clasped his hands and recited the exorcism knife, lightly touching his stomach. In that moment, a shrill howl popped out of his mouth. Animals, give me a minute. That sound is no longer human. It's the sound of the mouse clanging, and for a second when he didn't care, suddenly he stood up. His eyes were red. Ken's teeth grew up to the jaw. The uncle's arm reached up through his neck. The blood from the scratches spilled out into a red spout of a pile of charms. The spell immediately went up and 7. The sound of 7 voices. He added moaning, while rubbing the wound and breathing hard. The villagers fled in panic. Who throws the staff of the stumbling man? I swear I'll lie down with my neck screeched to the back of my neck. In the smoke and blood he stood up. Body convulsions. It was a horrible scene that happened. A tail that grows out of a cloak and divides into 3 branches. Black branch at the devil's plastic reach. The tail wagged back and forth. No one can stop you. Running like a wild animal. His voice echoed through the empty house. Running towards a well in the cemetery. People have been talking about the bottom of that well for ages. There's a way into the underworld. It used to be a place where people were killed, and threw Cho's body into the mud. The noise was like a wooden crate being smashed. When you jump down, if you sell it in black, it smells bad. The old women fainted where the children were crying. The villagers are crawling and running, and the 7 sutras are shrinking. Sounds like the echoes of a lost man held in desolation. Just look no closer. Since that day, the well has been sealed with a large stone, and put the Buddha statue in place. No one knows if he is alive or dead. But every night it rains. People hear the scratching at the bottom. It's like a claw touching a brick wall. It's accompanied by killing and laughter. The guests looked up, from the ground, intertwined with that smouldering fatigue that's creeping into the bottom of the eye. In the end, the people in the village thought it was from the land. Life and death do not dare to touch Raw. Shot a year later. He's the one who started the rain. The wind is thin. The poor man is a famous thief. Since I was a child, growing up, the guy who spied on the house had a bunch of holes to steal chickens and ducks. Maybe. So much so that the villagers nicknamed Cho the rat owner. In the last few months, He's been wandering around. The house is crumbling like dog porridge. Everyone thought they'd been caught or met with disaster. But that day killed, when the whole village was sleeping. The words suddenly appeared. They both broke into our house and stole her seeds. Was discovered. The cows run barefoot through these fields. Villagers holding torches chasing shouted, "Make him beat the thief to death." I'm about to give a fresh blow. They rushed to the shortcut to the cemetery, as broken as my life, near the well so that he could escape the old. From the stumbling leaves to buy the land fell banana and into a well. The blood from the wound flowed, raw chan fell again. Horizontal foot stone plate well mouth. When the fish reached puberty, they felt the smell of blood rising. Suddenly, the stone on the well's mouth cracked. Then there's something in the well. The sound of the words fell suddenly silent. The people who came just in time to see a hairy arm. It's clinging to the well as if something's dropped. You want to drown me forever. And the rain, the blood and the wind just came back. Thank you to the audience for listening. Hello, goodbye, gentlemen. And I'll see you guys later. In the next stories. It's dead. He added in an unknown whisper to whom. Or just wait for a word. In the flickering light his shadow on the patchy wall. It's like a muddy ghost. He looked around the house in the dark. The oil lamp that was lit earlier has never been extinguished. Only the smell of smoke remains. And the flashing light swayed the walls. From the corner of the house echoed the sound of locusts like you. The sound was soft but like a knife to the ear. Then pull under the long huddle. Like the sound of a demon bird pecking at the heart of the living. His heart pounding with a dry throat. You have a feeling. It's like I'm no longer sitting in my house. It's trapped in a nest where the rat is the owner. You must die. He gritted his teeth on every word. You want to wake up. Want to swing a broom and swing a stick. Smash the darkness that's swallowing you. But his voice cracked weakly. Not strong enough to dispel the ghost. Even more unbearable. The mouse's howl lurked all over the houses. He sat there with a trembling hand, his spear looking at the dark corner. His back was handcuffed like a burden. The whole house is rotting. Every day. I don't know if it's me or something else. Listening in the night. You look like a ghost every night. Bite my leg. I'm old. I don't have anything you can spare. He breathed out for an hour. Not breathing because of fatigue. It's like breathing to try to push yourself out. It's a strange feeling. Now you're silent. Only the wind boils through the tattered roof. Chew's howl echoed back. It's a small sound, but it's like a tease. The howl of a bunch of evil spirits winning. It was as if it was going to rain that afternoon. The wind is blowing over every moment. Mr. Theme sat on the threshold of his hands against his chin. Look at the 8 pieces in front of you. It's hard to stay in the house all day. Suddenly the sound of wood flashing. I hate the neighbors coming. Mr. Theme, are you alive? He lifted his head, trying to form a grimace smile. Living is like dying. Man, give it a bite. Give it a leg tear. Every night is like being in the middle of a demon nest. I said this. Last week, I had gasoline, and there was a sign on the outside. Heard. It was rumored for the whole village that she was a fairy. Except for the mouse. It's good. A Seven's house is over there, and the rat bit the oats. Then invite him back. I finished reading that night and the mouse died. You know, it's weird that you roll your eyes. Really, miss. Or make up a story. What are you afraid of? And you must have rolled your eyes. I'm an old man, I say. I don't care about the world, but this enemy-like rat who dares to talk. I heard that teacher is a skinny guy. Long face like a scowl. But the handle has no jackfruit wood grain. It's cold on your back. He said that rats don't just destroy. But when you pull back in groups like that, sometimes it gets something else wrong. Hearing that, he was startled. What else is the tool? He didn't make it clear. But he said that sometimes it's not the rats that come by themselves. It's because of the gas, but borrowing the mouse's body to destroy the house. If you see a house with lots of air, they just multiply. Keep it away forever. He also said that the wind is the head mouse. That's a lot of mocking rats. He sighed his eyes, looking down at the foot where the bite of the night. Through the swelling, where is he so that he can be invited? At the end of the village behind the old temple. That tree asked the people to know. but you have to leave early. I heard he didn't see anyone after pig time. Don't wear white. You may hate that color, but it's the color of Mister. His eyes lit up a ray of hope. Yeah, I'll be right there tonight. If you live like this, you don't live anymore. The old woman sighed and drew a cassava to him and said, "Take it, eat it. Give it a warm stomach. Go the strange way." I hope he still accepts. I found a house in my village cold. This kind of cold is like a disturbing sound. That night the wind screeched. Every storm on the dirt road leading to Van Village. Theme has the wind in his brown shirt, head with a tattered old hat, and a bamboo stick in his hand. In the morning she was told to go before the pig, but because he was busy with the village, he missed it. Now the sky is flashing. The last light of the afternoon. Hide away into the mountains. Go to the top of the village and ask a few people. They show you with their eyes full of fear. Follow the road behind the temple. To that original banyan tree, the inclined lane is too. The more you go, the more it's strangely quiet. The wind flowed through the bushes, like a man moaning in the night. Where he found a small low house. The roof is rotten, but quite clean. Around the house planted his tree with yellow leaves. By the door hanging 6 deep seas and lost in some amulets borrowed ink. There's no bark. There's no human voice. The house is quiet like a blind house. He stood there for a while. Then pluck up the courage to tap the ass cover. It takes about 10 breaths. The sound of sandals tossing up inside. Horizontal fold message. Immediately, I was surprised that the person in front of me was not a teacher. It's a 10-year-old kid. The child is wearing a brown shirt with peach-cut hair, blue and white skin like a rich man, but the eyes are bright. Your house is looking for someone. Oh my, I'm Theme from the next village. My house was destroyed by rats day and night. It bites the whole body, and it can't survive. I heard people say that you can find me. Please help me if you have a home. My teacher hasn't come back yet. He was the 8th person the gas village had invited. My teacher said accident. The mouse in your village is caused by its king. What did you say to the king? My house is also unknown, but I heard your teacher say it's a mouse. It's not a mouse. It's burning to get back. Quiet and tell that, sir. When the doctor comes back, tell her to find him. Now he is bored to leave immediately. On the way back in his stomach like some AI pouring ice. You said it wasn't a mouse. It stuck in my ear all the way home. Late at night the moon hanging on the bamboo peak. The wind seems bigger tonight. It makes the old bamboo grow on both sides. He took more slow steps, under his corrugated bare feet, that the soil is not as hard and rugged as small graves. The air at night becomes cool. The mist crept through the thin brown coat and seeped into the flesh. I'm not shivering because of the cold, or a growing sense of ambiguity. Along both sides of the path, where he walked the overgrown weeds, the low bushes in the floating silver moon, as if there is a picture. Sometimes the wind is strong, the trees folding down into a strange shape and then popping up. It's like having life again. That image makes my husband feel bad. You're still walking, with heavy footsteps, as if stuck to the ground. Your space is both wide and closed. It's as if the whole road is narrowing. It's no longer a familiar neighborhood. It's a place between dream and reality. In the distance there was a howl. The sound of suffering is so cold. He stopped looking around. There's no AI. The wind rose stronger, then lit up the skirt. He flew back out the back. He did not turn his head, and did not stop. Just keep your head down. Every step is as heavy as the soul of the Theo. In his mind what the child had just said was still hopeful. Like a temple mine in the middle of the night. It's not a mouse, it's something else. I was confused in my heart when suddenly in the thick trees, near a dance ground, there are strange sounds. First it's just a very slight squeak, and then it's breathing. The sound of the soul shows each sound unevenly emitted. It's like what's hiding in the bush. He further immediately stopped. The wind stopped at the same time. Let space fall apart. Something silent jerks back. And then in the dark, the new moon's glow flashed through a gap of leaves, flashed a cold knife-like light. The light opened the amphitheater. A dark grey feather has just risen out of the grass. His eyes lit up in the night, looking straight at him. More praise for focusing on looking closer. The fur glowed and the long, furry tail swayed. Sleek and agile. I knew it was a fox. It's a wise thing to move food at night. Often come near empty fields or poor people's houses to steal eggs and release chickens. His hand more unconsciously tightened the large coarse cane. I still carry with me my heart. I lost my job to find you without being able to. I can only catch this fox. It also provides a fresh meal. He said he came slowly and softly, step by step as carefully as a hunter in the jungle, and still doesn't leave the shadow of the firefly. His hands grew longer as he heard every sound. Leaf, 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 bare copper slightly scraped. The stick is raised ready to chop down if the animal jumps out. In his head silently counting the beats and self-soothing. It's just that foxes aren't evil. But then a strange thing happened. The animal in the tree house didn't run away. It's still where it used to be, head tilted slightly as if examining the sound itself. His chest is fluttering, up and down with every breath, but the legs don't move, and then the head bends to the side. One door only bizarre, that you've never seen in the wild. His heart was pounding. The wind comes rustling like that AI whispering in the ear. Tim tightened his stick harder. When the distance is only a few feet away, the animal moves softly. Under the new moon, its every move was clear. One side fades and it trembles as if it's gaining momentum. Head slightly raised to reveal the hidden white fangs. The whole eye doesn't leave the tube anymore. His heart was pounding, but his hands were not trembling. The moment the animal bends its back, feet of sadness downward are. He sighed for an hour as if to reassure himself. Then raise the stick as high as you can, strong in its head. The sound of the cup splashing in the middle of the night made the bushes on the side of the road shake slightly. I can't even say an hour. Its small body collapsed to the ground. His legs twitched slightly, and then he lay still. A slight fishy smell lingered in the air. The shirt stood still for a few seconds. He still holds his breath for a long time. Sweaty blankets even though the night wind is still blowing hard. Old brown sleeves, scissors to wipe face. He bent down and looked closely. The animal lies on one side, its dark grey hair rustling in groups. It's much larger than most foxes. It's bigger than a small pig. His face was very focused, but the expression on his face was still visibly hateful. You are the one who shines under the moon. Want the shiver to pass. It's strange what a big earth. It's also aggressive and unusual. It's not like a stick or a high. He added, muttering in his head, unconsciously squeezing the incense stick. Your heart. The world is suspicious of catching something that breaks at night, but in the belly, it's an ineffable feeling. It's like I just killed something I shouldn't have touched. Far away from the sound of trying to recede for long hours. The omen blows through, makes the grass shake like a whisper. Curious, he stooped even closer to his pounding breath, eyes together to see better. The animal lies there motionless, but that silence doesn't bring any peace of mind. Instead of being relieved by a cold snap in the spine, makes every joint seem to freeze. Will be the low light. The wet animal's fur will be more visible. Hair color is shopping for black, thick and long hairs. It's like walking through cold water. His eyes are still open. In the corner of the eye a silver ray of light, as if it were spinning, as thin as smoke, glittering like glass reflecting the moon's glow. That look, he seemed to be watching his wife through the darkness. Into the human heart. Oh my God, a mouse. I was scared, stood up and sat down. Take the stick in your hand and poke it gently into your body. When he saw that the mouse was no longer moving, he was somewhat reassured. But what makes you stop is not breathing, is the tail. Not one, not two. 3 tails sprout from the rat's ass. 3 tails with slender black fur, like cloud, or oi, are coiling together, like little snakes. The space around him is as hard as copper. There is no more grass. The old sound is silent, as if holding your breath. He used himself to look closely. This rat's snout is unusually long. Its nose is pointed. The mouth opened to reveal the white teeth. Those teeth glowed like a hauntingly pale color. Its ears are triangular, as sharp as 2 crescent blades. The ant trembled instinctively, taking a step back, while the eyes are fixed on the deformed body. And then he realized on the thick fur, close to the animal's side, There are small rhymes as crimson. It's not animal literature. It's a trail of blood that's been frozen for a long time. A few streaks zigzagging like old letters. It's like a charm. Makes the shape of the shallower mouse more bizarre. Your mouth is dry. The stick in his hand dropped. What's so freakishly heavy? It's got 3 tails. In his heart, there suddenly arose a smouldering. For a moment he hurriedly lifted the stick. The hands near the country were still clenched, but each finger trembled slightly. Eyes. His light shone on the coldness of those who had experienced it. How many seasons the wind? But hidden deep down, there's a vague confusion. It was as if he had just seen something out of the ordinary, beyond what the people back home once believed to be true. You've never been afraid of rats. You've never believed in ghosts. But now I'm standing in the middle of a deserted road with a 3-tailed animal. The casino is at your feet. He found his heart cold. It's like drinking some water in the underworld. The boy slowly next time. The thick grey cloud was like bruised fat. The light fades and disappears, leaving behind a thick darkness like the dew of the night. Space. There's only the breath of the wind and the sound of the leaves. Snail added at the end, who carefully reminded the mouse be a tail. It's a heavy body, not a heavy type of flesh. It's as heavy as carrying gas. It's like there's a curse buried deep in your chest. He put it on his shoulder and felt his back chill, and the soft tail drags down the shirt. Touching his neck made him shiver. He's got bare teeth, walking slowly. The road is blushing, it gets longer. Every step on the ground, like dragging along an invisible echo. In your head, the familiar sounds over and over again. The sound of the rat sausages, the sound of locusts in fear, and the clatter of rice fell on the patchy brick floor. Every image that pops up. The basket planted in the back of the kitchen was bitten. The little grain was as thin as his own flesh and blood. A pile of cassava potatoes for rotting, fringed to the core. Clothes hanging out in the light. Was just a rag. He added, his teeth full of anger. This tailed rat. Maybe it's the head of the rat. It's what leads the wicked Kia to destroy their homes. His eyes glowed with a resolute TIA. If that's true, if you kill it, you might end it all. My head will sleep. I have to bring it back to the main station to get it. In the distance, the oil lamp from the AIS house appears in the dark. He tightened the stick in his hand, still carrying the rat BA race, like carrying a murder. The blow was colder this time, but he did not stop, because in him the fear seemed, has given way to a clear thought. Tonight will be the night of destiny. The darkness fell on every roof of the cottage. The cold wind howled through the cracks of the rotten straw roof. The dark sky is not swallowed up by thick clouds. The village is empty without a shadow. Only the sound of his footsteps was heavy. On his shoulder, the 3-tailed mouse remained dormant. But it's not normal to not sign it. And the long tail was as soft as black silk, swinging softly whenever there is wind. It's like 3 thin arms of a creature that hasn't died. He did not dare to look back, afraid that the animal was dead. And its silence makes you sad, more than when alive. It felt like an invisible pair of eyes were staring at him. The wind suddenly blew several nearby banana leaf boats against each other. A pig bird flying by gave a hasty cry, and then disappear into the night. He walked humbly, barefoot, covered in mud, skirt covered in dirt. His breathing became more urgent. For a month or 2 he still heard the howl echoing, not from far away. It's like echoing from the mouse that's lying motionless on my shoulder, on the rough dirt road that led to the chief's house. The moon behind the clouds. There's only fragments of light singing down to the ground. Good location, and hide your feet. The snail then to step by step. Shoulders still carry the mouse be a heavy tail. His mind is heavy with confused thoughts. When he came across his yard, he and 3 friends who have been with him since he was young. He stopped for a beat. The oil light in the yard flashes, and the circle will dim. The shadow of the man gathered by the bamboo hammock. On the table, there's only 1 8 crooked, a small earthenware wine jar, and the enamel plate with the dried fish burning next to it. The smoke is still written around people's faces. K's voice cracks softly. Let's have a drink on this season's night. It's been a cold night these days. He touched his shirt and looked out into the street. The cold is that my village was destroyed by rats. One night it sounded like someone was digging the nails. I hate rats like the devil. He leaned back slightly against the sky, sipping wine and writing his mouth. Hunger, suffering, everything. The end of the season comes to drought. Now it's time for the rat to leave the village. Are whispering about. All three were startled to see Mr. Where did you go at night and still wandering? I sit here and drink wine to forget life. He sat down with a tired look. The three-tailed mouse he put on the ground, lying naked without moving the door. 3 men let you look at each other, he said. Where's the weird mouse? Their hair is strange. I've never seen anything so strange. Ka also has fever. At first I thought it was just a big mouse. Why does his face beat so badly? He gulped and tilted his head and lowered his voice. I've heard the old man say, my village has a mouse. They have lived for hundreds of years, sucking up the spirit. Huo chuckled. Those things are old. What time is it? And I believe in myths. This rat is too fat to eat fresh. It was quiet for a while and then slowly. I used to smell like an uncle, until this animal jumped in and squeezed my neck. I beat him to death and caught the tail still shaking. It's like a whisper in your ear. It's not something we should arbitrarily share. I'm going to tweak the tool to avoid making some dumb money. You deserve to look at him. The North Vietnamese government decided to adjust to the long-distance sow. Remember the weight guy? He dug up an old vase in the garden and set it up. Money is not seen. I saw him make an excuse to keep the garden, to find antiques chokwon above. Eventually we lost the whole garden. Mr. Con agrees. You were right. He's a schemer. Maybe you should take the mouse back to the village. If you go to jail, be foolish. He sighed more. According to you, I have to do something. The air became quiet. He poured more wine on 8 and said nothing. I softened. Ka doesn't laugh anymore. The boat is as if considering something. A moment later, he nodded slightly. This big fat rat is twice on fire cooking a raw cho meal. Hey, if he eats his grain, we eat his flesh. He needs more. That's right. The wine has been served with dry fish. I still look at the mouse lying on the ground, as if facing a sign. The first of the storm is smouldering from the ground. It sprouted and swept the whole village into trouble. The night moon comes out again. Cloud layer. The pale light was like a frost on the old fake roof. His yard was half lit and half dark. On a mortar in the middle of the yard, 4 old men tell their hair to salt pepper, with broad shoulders sitting flat. It's almost like a non-verbal argument, waiting for the first gun. Cho'ol lamp is silent on the branches of the dream tree. The lamp trembled in the wind. The fire flashed on each person's face. He needs the chicken. The judge has, for many years rolling with him, and many seasons of floating water. There are 10 seasons of burning grass, but there's something between them tonight that no one's ever seen. Mouse be a tail. It's under the mat as a challenge. The body was still warm and smelled fishy. It smells like dirt mixed with blood and wet hair, and the long, slender black thigh, as soft as raw clouds still weirdly wrapped together. The mouse's eyes were closed, but its eyelids were so thin that the moon as if through, leaving a cold silver light. On the animal's face, its fur was glossy blue, translucent like fish scales. He put his hands together and laughed softly. But you don't look nervous. Although playing show of strangers is sometimes luck, the meat loses its fragrance. Mr. Ka keeps drinking, of a young pig butcher. In his hands, there is a large fence of bright light. It was as if I could feel the devil in the night. He raised a knife to eye level and glanced at him more. What's the problem? If you don't do it, I'll do it quickly. Hot grilled drink with delicious wine plus no. He was silent from the beginning. My father's eyes fixed on the mouse. It's like being hypnotized. A moment later he said, hurry up and eat it. I want the fishy stuff to break my tongue. He said he picked up the big fat dragonfly and put it on the grinder. The chicken took a deep breath, squeezed the handle of the knife and waved it. A sharp knife slashed down the mouse's neck. The blade was filled with the sound of the knife touching the bone. A dark red blood spurts out. At that moment, the entire space in the house is locked up. The pile of paper on the back of the neck that splashed onto the outer shore also became silent. The oil lamp also disappeared. Now the abundant capital in the bamboo net also suddenly stopped, leaving a stillness like a prison pond. The remaining three Mr. Theme, he needs Mr. Dan simultaneously held his breath. No one dared to move. Face stickers ceiling and color mouse set mat holder. To the rat's throat. Suddenly, there was a loud sound. Slowly but creepy. That sounds like AI. Moaning in a dream of dentures. Sometimes it's like the sound of the soul popping out of the depths calling for death. The dragonfly's whole body jerked off. It's not because of normal reflexes. It's like having the last soul drawn. Then it lies still. 3-tail jerking blood pinch. Hate jerking up once. As a goodbye. The man who was afraid of vaginas hastily clasped his hands together. Oh my God, oh my God. If you eat from the devil, do not be guilty. Don't bring disaster on the poor black people. He sat motionless, face stretched out like a string about to break, and Mr. Confined Pigtails dipped his hands in the water, but the eyes didn't leave the mouse. After the knife was washed, he quite began to peel off the mouse. But it's different from normal mice. This skin doesn't just peel off, it clings to the body, soft and tough as neoprene. You also have to use a knife to separate each layer of sugar, new flaking out each plate, each thin but persistent piece. It's like thousands of strong tendon fibers sticking together. When the first skin peels off underneath, revealing the flesh, but it's not as bright pink as wild rat meat. The color is deep red with deep blue. It's as if there's a speck of raw in every kind of meat. He then forced his mouth to speak. Fucking rat meat is fishier than pond fish. When the mouse skin is peeled off to the top, it's shiny for slipped off, like a peeled swimsuit. The soft skin drops down, shining in the soft rustling sound, but creepy. Skin peeling off to reveal the deep red flesh underneath, wet as if the blood was still on raw. Blood from the mouse's head vertically up horizontally, mixed in the cold injection swelling. Mr. K holds a small knife, a thin but sharp blade. You need to put a knife through the top of the rat's skull, little by little to mine the head. But when it got worse, he just touched his lower jaw. Try to pull it out. All four were suddenly ordered to leave by a hand, tight on the nape. The mouse's mouth cracked open. It's not the two most common grinning teeth. It's a tooth, a function. Teeth like human teeth are regularly white and straight. 10 teeth right in line, as if they were sharpened. For square front teeth, these teeth stick out slightly on the dark purple whistle. The molars inside are flat clean, one stain. The mouse's tongue underneath snatched a red O. And in that instant, all four of you were swinging one of these. Transfer weight to the top of the head. Hard copper space, great wind blowing howl, no longer melancholy. Or a lamp hanging on the branch. It's like a flaming blade of fire. The ghost plays as if it's about to turn off. This old man. Why the hell does this time monster have teeth like human teeth? It must be strange. He comes Sodley Beatkang. The world touches the planetarium brick. He added nothing. He just stared at Kia's teeth. Kim's cheeks then twitched for a moment, as if they were pricked. From inside the cold sweat out the temple. In his head an old memory, like a sudden tearing of silk. Man raw. A memory from a young age. At my grandmother's feet by the fire. In the rainy nights. At that time, she used to rub his head with fireflies, and to thou said, with a trembling voice, as if afraid of his own words, rats that live long enough to eat dead bodies. If you drink rotten blood, you will become pure. It wasn't a mouse anymore. It learns human voices and laughter and crying. You know how to stand up straight. I know how to wear a towel and knock on the door without AI. Until it's fit to chew like a human. His teeth turned into human teeth. He shuddered. My grandmother's words every year seemed to come out of my ears. Every clear word and command. The moon was swallowed up by the clouds. Oral bulbs swaying on the branches. The light twists like it's wobbling. I'm afraid that White is still there. It's like laughing. A dying smile. He turned to look at his old friend, B.A. Haar's voice. Stop eating no more. Kong is holding a bloody knife. When I heard that, I was silly. Why are you eating this delicious food? Why don't you eat it? He shook his head slowly. Take a look. This is not a normal mouse. Its teeth are like human teeth. If you killed the wrong mouse, leave your mother. He swallowed his shivering saliva. So he left and said to hand it over to the head. He further did not answer immediately. He bent down and looked at the motionless be-tailed mouse. But that desk vice still looks that way. New bar fiery up black. You can't eat if you don't hand it over. We have to bury it deep. And don't touch rat meat anymore. I'm telling you, it's not superstition. There's something wrong with the mouse in our village. Since they stopped me, I couldn't sleep at night. Every night it sounds like there's an AI laughing in the dark. Now that's clear. It's a chimp. You've never seen him seriously like this ever. It also became confused. As soon as he finished speaking, the air of silence enveloped him. It's like being torn apart. Due to the strong silk of the cow, the oil lamp tilted again, flashing a blue light. Suddenly, he was quite smirking, hand pointing at the rat. A tail has been flayed. I made you sound like a magician. I've killed countless rats since I was a kid. You know how much meat there is. Now the mouse breaks down the door. Will be a big mouse that won't eat, so it laughs in the face. Do not destroy the spirit of the North. We eat until the end, but leaving now is no different than going home. He needs you. His voice was low but a little cold. I don't believe in the devil either. I've been poor for a whole month, without food. It is a waste of heaven. He was shy, but his eyes flashed a little hungry. He shook his head. All the voices were heard, but the audience stood up. Take the knife and go to the kitchen. People who are afraid avoid me and make me eat. The meat remains fresh for a long time. He and I looked at each other for a month and stood up. Then the heart is still afraid. He added that he finally carved his tongue in agreement. After a red fire in the kitchen, the mice were disemboweled and washed. All 4 eyes showed a strong desire. Every unlucky mouse on the old pan. Every time the sparkle of fame splits, like a crack under the wall. Land raw meat smell a sweet and fragrant aftertaste. That fat smell is unlike any meat they've ever eaten. It's not the smell of dead day boiled pork. It wasn't roasted chicken on the wedding day. It smelled like something, a half alive, half ripe incense, as sweet as glutinous rice. For people who said nothing just looked at each other. And then I looked down at the rat meat that was coming up next to me. His eyes lit up with hunger. He needs to swallow the towel dry throat. He was now hand knit together. After a while, the mouse is removed from the old pot. Lay a fat ball cake. I can see it, but the inside is not red. It's not quite ripe yet. He was the first to taste it. He tore off a rat's thigh. Put some chili salt on your lips and chew. First piece shallow frown, but then the eyes softened. It smells like it's sinking into a delicious taste. The meat is soft and sweet. It feels cool to eat. It tastes better than dog meat, guys. He also picked up a piece. The teacher chewed in his mouth and rolled his eyes. Liver as smooth as butter smell. I swear I've never eaten anything like that. Dan trembled with his chopstick and picked up a small rib. Suck the sticky meat and eat it yourself. Oh my God, I've never eaten a piece of meat before. It's so greasy. He also dropped a mouse thigh into his mouth. You slowly enjoy. Every time you grind your teeth, the taste of meat melts deep into the mouth. In fact, this rat doesn't look like tender dog meat. It's not like chicken. This piece of rat meat is velvety. It's like being dissolved in water. But enough is wrong to feel every tiny stripe like a fingerprint. They are both familiar and strange, as if they were something I used to eat in a dream. I was hungry in times of hunger. People who don't know their names. His hands were slightly swollen with sweat. It's not a hot sweat. It's a cold sweat like Tom, once when running backwards from the chest to the top of the head. His heart was pounding, and the blood was jerking in every piece of meat. A cravings for rancor. It's like not eating anymore is going crazy. His eyes looked as if they were no longer calm. He looked at the 3 friends, you eating so passionately. He just picked up a piece of meat that was on fire. He breathed cowardly, sweat dripping on the chin. Mr. K took the towel, smiling like one who drinks 8 strong drinks in the middle of the winter night. You deserve to lose your mind. His eyes closed, his hands clasped without saying a word. My mouth is now unusually wide because of my age. He added the wine and continued to examine his flesh. He was chewing happily, and suddenly he injected himself In the middle of the plate is half drying. Suddenly he saw something moving. It's like an extra tendon, like a tail. It's like a black feather bursting under the glistening fat. He rubbed his eyes again, but saw nothing. All 4 people sitting around the table. No one said a word. The sound of chewing sounds steadily. The sound of clattering and hastily clattering. Don't blow any more. The tall tree in the yard stood as dead. The oil lamp hanging on the branch. There's just a little green fire left. Race so that the fat glistening on the mouth ate. On green sprouts. The rat that caught its tail has now turned into meat. It melts in the mouths of 4 people. No one remembers the shape of the monster. It's as if they're caught up in a collective delusion. I don't realize it myself. Germination of bone color and fat blotches. The mouse's head was alone on one side. The scalp was peeled off, just a slippery skull. To black eye sockets empty our box, looking straight at the sky. But the scariest thing is the teeth. White teeth as smooth as human teeth. Still haven't drunk among the excess flesh and bones. The teeth peeked out just enough to form an ice cold smile. While the 4 of you are drinking. Then his dog lay still in the fold. He called this dog fat. Body covered in a thin, finely striped coat like a crest. As the smell of meat fat soared to the cat's head, the sharp nose moved. But not like every time I rush in. This time the cat just quietly watched. Its body is cowering. It's like feeling something unusual. He protruded gently and threw the bone towards it.